ThinkPad L15. 207U. 207. Yep, that's found it. Cool, found it. Yep, I found the exact one. It's Dad's got the, I think, no, Dad's got slightly upgraded model, but update my system.
No, drivers and software.
The BIOS.
Oh, you got it. It's there. There it is. Put it on this. It's easier to use.
No, it's usually. When was that released? Let me check. Details. October last year. That's definitely been updated since. Yeah, that's definitely been updated.
Yep.
And it says critical, so.
You can take over.
Yep, cool, I should be able to.
Yep.
I'll try that. I've never done a BIOS. Oh no, I've actually done a BIOS update once from the BIOS, and that was my MSI gaming laptop. That's how MSI do BIOS updates.
You might want to see if they have instructions there.
Yeah, I'll read instructions because I don't want to screw things up because it's my...
Connect it to the power if it's not already connected for the BIOS.
Yeah. It's got its USB-C cable connected, yeah.
Okay, no, I'm just saying because Lenovo's, they will not even update before you don't do
Correct. Correct, and I know what Dad's Lenovo's got when it does a BIOS update. It's got a thing called it's got fallback protection or something. So if things go terribly wrong, it'll roll back to the previous BIOS if things go severely wrong.
Yeah, it's, yes.
Which I like. Yeah. Let me format this USB. So then I'll go from there.
So the hard drive that shows 0 megabyte is the HDD a mechanical one or is it?
No, it's NVMe. The computer can only do M.2 SATA or NVMe, so it's an NVMe drive. I took out that generic drive and put in my own 500 gig Samsung drive, and that gave me the same issue. My own to see if it does anything else, and same issues.
So AMD, it's an AMD machine.
Correct. AMD Ryzen 5 Pro.
Okay.
Yeah. I've never had this before, and I looked up the issue with the 0 megabytes, and one guy said take out your mechanical hard drive, clean the hard drive and the connection, put it back in, it should work. And I'm like, no, there's no hard drive, and I have took the drive back out and back in again.
So my Acer would not accept the 4x4 NVMe that I put in. It was like just blue screening, like no.
Oh yeah.
I could go to the BIOS, yes, and then it would just not having it. But that is first it's an Intel system, and second it's from 2017, yes.
Yeah.
So I assume it's only that he can read up to PCIe Gen 3. Yes, 3x4 should be fine. Yes.
Yeah, but the SSD I've got in my cousin's laptop is the exact one that came with the computer.
Okay.
So it was working until Lenovo decided to replace. Until we had to get a new motherboard with USB-C port stopped working, and Lenovo said, all right now, my cousin's Adam said, all right Adam, you have to reinstall Windows. And he's like, oh. So he asked me to do it, and I'm trying to work out the issue. So I'll try a BIOS update.
Yes, try the BIOS update first, and then try again, and then let us know, because I know if you said, oh, I put in a Western Digital as NVMe, and I would say, okay, it's it's the rest of the WD, yes, because
Yep.
WD controllers and AMD, they don't like each other, yes.
No, it's not Western Digital. It's I think an Intel drive. I think Lenovo have an OEM Intel drive.
Okay, so it's like a 660P or something like that.
Something, yeah. If I go into main, let me go into I can't tell you exactly from this screen, but it's probably like an Intel drive or something like that.
Yeah, I have an Intel drive too, and it's fading on me.
Yeah, I always go to Samsung, regardless, unless otherwise. If Samsung's out of stock, then I go to someone else. But it's always Samsung.
Yeah, Samsung is a good choice because you can use Intel and on the AMD, usually without any issues. Yeah. So I would say do the BIOS update first, and then if it's still not working, because they could have improved from these two versions, they could have improved the compatibility, yes?
Correct, yeah. It could have been, yeah, because I tried Windows 10 Build 2004 from a DVD, then I tried 20. Yeah, I have a Windows 10 installed DVD, which I do use in rare cases. Then that failed, so I tried a USB. I tried 21H1, then 21H2, and they both failed. So I'm like, stuff this, let's try Windows 11, and same issue.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to format this USB because I don't really have format on Mac OS. So partition. Get rid of this partition. Can I? No, I'm
Stamp. I got it. I'm gonna talk again for a minute, but I got one for you. There's a thing called G-Part, G-Part.
Yep.
You might want to look for that in shareware, and then you probably already know about it. But that'll change the partition on the drive or M.2. Might be worth a shot.
No, I've got another one. I use Community Partition Wizard, which is based on Windows PE, and that one's a bit easier for partitioning drives, and it does a similar job.
So use it. Blast get everything out of there, and then try to load it.
Yeah, because currently it's got on there a corrupted Windows install, which I corrupted even further by recovering files.
Give it a shot.
No.
Hey, Ken?
Yes.
I got a couple of questions for the Roadrunner.
Okay, I'm sure they'll answer.
Not question, comment. Did you hear today? Monday is the last day of MI engines by Chrysler.
I did not.
No more 8-cylinders Chrysler. All 6 are under. And their actual speech was because of the environment.
Toyota truck this year has dropped their 8-cylinder engine, which was the most reliable one they had. They've gone to the turbocharged V6 like Ford and some others have done.
Right, but didn't we go through this maybe 25, 30 years ago where everything went to 4- and 6-cylinder? And then a few years back, they were like, yeah, we're bringing the 8-cylinder back. And then they brought that back. Now we're doing the same thing over again?
I have a question. How is everyone going to afford electric cars?
Huh?
How is everybody going to afford electric cars?
I don't know.
They're not cheap.
Oh, no, I know.
Then you got to buy a charger, like $2,000 to get a supercharger, they call it, for your house.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to decide what to do sometime during this year or early next year. My extended warranty runs out in 20,000 miles or in March of 2023 on my F-150. And I bought it after I'd had some trouble under the original manufacturer's warranty. And I've had one turbocharger go out already, developed an oil leak and had to be replaced. And I don't drive it hard. I rarely ever kick it in, and yet it developed a leak.
Did you get any fourth warranty?
Not yet, Ken. I'm waiting on you to get here before we do that.
Okay. I just wondered, I thought when you were showing your tablet a while ago, it looked
No,
like
I was showing you I had my heater on. I got
I
my.
know that. And you got to provide marshmallows and sticks for everybody. You know that, right?
I'm reaching out for
Yeah.
marshmallow.
But Greg, or Jeff, what is that in your background?
That is an image from the homepage of Oak Ridge National Lab, where I worked for 22 years, way back when.
Okay.
Some of their research there, they're into high performance supercomputing. They had the fastest machine in the world at one time. They don't right now, the Chinese.
Faster than Kerry Holzman's Big Beast build?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
A couple of us got that.
don't get me even.
Jeff?
Yeah.
No big deal, but did you get the Ford extended warranty or somebody else?
Ford.
Did you have any problems, not problems with the warranty, but have any work done under it?
Yes.
And they paid it?
Yep. There's a $100 deductible. It's the same as the original warranty, except for the $100 deductible.
I've actually used that and I've had good luck with it.
For example, as it happens, my truck has a little sliding window in the back seat,
Yeah.
and it quit working. It jammed open, the cable jammed. And rather than fixing the window, they just replaced the whole back window. Less labor, I assume.
Yeah.
And it's probably faster, so it's less working hours.
And I have two other issues I'm going to get fixed while it's still under warranty. The camera in the back does not work all the time. And I have an airbag light that comes on sporadically.
That's a bit
Don't know
strange.
whether it's in the sensor or the bag itself. It could be either one.
Mhm.
I had that on an old truck years ago. But I'm going to get that fixed while it's still under warranty. And it doesn't matter how many things you have wrong. It's still $100 deductible to fix all of them if it's all in at once. And you get a rental truck while they're working on it up to a week and a half or something like that.
And depending on the dealership, that's enough time.
So, but right now, depending what it needs, if there's something that requires an integrated circuit, you might be waiting a long time for parts with the chip shortage and all of that.
That's for sure.
So I've got to decide whether to buy a different truck or just suck it up and hope I can afford the cost of whatever else might go wrong.
Way out the cost.
And you cannot re-extend the extended warranty?
I haven't talked to him about it, but I'm up at 80,000 miles. If I try to extend it now, it'll be a lot more expensive than had I bought a longer warranty in the first place.
Okay, I see.
I didn't buy it when I bought the truck.
Usually you save money that way, not buy it.
Well, you usually do, but it's like I bought a Ford Focus that my daughter drove for a while, and I paid $2,600 for the extended warranty. And counting everything that was done to it, there was well over $5,000 worth of work was done on that car. So that one paid off.
Yeah.
And I paid something like $2,500 for the one on my truck. And I probably had $1,800 to $2,000 done so far, and I've got more to do yet. So in my case, I'm going to at least break even. I mean, you have to realize if they weren't making money off the extended warranties, they wouldn't be selling them.
Yeah. Well,
That's just kind of a fact of life. I mean,
well, my question is, and that's why I'm seriously asking, if you sell the truck, what are you buying? A truck or an electric vehicle?
I'm not going to buy anything electric at this point.
Because I'm afraid to death the price of gas is going to be over $7 or $8.
Well, I know, but the thing that bothers me about buying electric, if I was just driving around Las Vegas, I probably could live with that. Install something in the garage to charge it at home and so forth and so on.
Right. That's my biggest fear is if you go out on the road.
We don't like to fly, so if we travel any distance, we drive.
Right.
And the question is, can I find someplace to charge it along the trip?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen seen
Exactly.
quite a few people
Yeah.
do that make road trips and put that on YouTube. But they show that it can be done as long as you have a charging thing.
But it's like, I'm sure there's a way to do it, but it's just a lot less
As
hassle.
long as you use a Tesla, because they have the best net of the recharging stations, yes?
So, I mean, I won't be buying something like a Tesla if I...
Well, Teslas
But
have
anyway,
recharging stations, but can't you if you're staying at a hotel, can't you just plan out, you know, how much battery, how much charge it's going to take to get to a hotel, stop at the hotel, and if they got an outlet on the outside of the building, charge that way.
So, we'll see. I mean, there's going to be a crossover point when you probably want to go electric. I'm hoping it's after my lifetime.
Or at least when you don't need it very often.
Right, but and unlike where I go, I grew up in this little bitty town out in Kansas and there sure as hell isn't going to be a charging station any place around there.
So,
In fact, I've had problems in the past. When my mother was still alive, I would fly to Kansas City and rent a car and go drive down there. And one of the conditions on car rentals that you don't drive on gravel roads, but I couldn't get to where I was going without driving on a gravel road.
yeah.
You
So,
know,
Jeff, do you think that eventually you're going to have to get, not you, but society as a whole is going to have to go electric? Do you think that's going to be forced upon us from
I think eventually
others?
Probably, if
It's going to be.
I don't think
price
it
of
would be
gas.
necessarily government mandates.
if
either.
the president we have right now stays in the office, probably if it was up to him, yes, we would all be electric.
Well, I don't think government's going to force it. Government might try to force it, but I don't think they can.
Right. Gary, what would be your dollar amount that you would say, nope, no more gas, I'm going electric?
Well, that I don't know.
$6 a gallon.
Alaska's what, $6 or $7 a gallon right now, or Hawaii?
750, I heard.
Jeez.
I already have a Tesla. My wife has a Mustang EV.
So,
It's not the price, but I got a couple of cars that the gas goes, you can't sell them. Who's gonna want them as a collector car?
but I think it'll come eventually, but I don't think it'll be by government mandate, because you can't mandate everything.
You
No.
think we should have electric vehicles or no?
I mean, my wheelchair supposedly can go. I've never really tested it. It supposedly can go 15 miles on a battery charge, but I've never I've never driven a complete 15 miles in one go in one day.
I think it will come eventually, but I don't think it's going to be on lithium-ion batteries. I think we need something better.
Well, I have an acquaintance, and I knew him. He's the one that blew up the car a couple of weeks ago. I actually knew the guy. They needed new batteries for $19,000.
So the guy in Finland,
Yeah,
They gave him new batteries or he needed new batteries?
needed it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, blowing it up makes a statement, but if I were him, I would have sold it if I just got a couple thousand out of it. He would at least got 2,000 towards buying another vehicle.
True.
Yeah,
No.
because he had him in New York, which had nothing to do with the car. But I
I
think
think
like,
my biggest fear for electric vehicles, all electric vehicles, will be we don't have the current charging stations that's going to be needed to drive from, let's say, me in Illinois to Jeff in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
There's not going to be enough of a charge to drive that many miles, I don't think.
The other issue
Go ahead, Catherine.
The other issue is, at the moment, there is no standard for like charging. So you cannot go with one brand of car to a Tesla charging station and then move on.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
stupid.
that's
the other problem.
That's one
Why
place
they
where
don't-
I would find government intervention useful to mandate a standard.
at least if you're going to build a car, you got to do electric.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I mean, my
We'll
wife's-
see.
we have 2 chargers.
Yeah, there.
Did you have
Thank
to
you.
add special circuitry in the garage or something like that for each of them?
Well, yes, we did, because it's 220.
Mm-hmm.
And they also want to, basically, it's got to have I can't think of the right word. It's, not circuit breaker, but
F5.
so it doesn't short off when it gets a spike.
Yeah, F5.
You stupid thing.
Installations, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing
Let me
I
ask
don't
you,
know.
if you have to drive someplace where you're going to need to recharge, I mean, say like you're going to go even on a modest trip, do you have something you can plug into a regular outlet at a motel and recharge it if all
Yes.
else fails?
That's what I was trying to say a while ago.
I mean, yes and no. Yes, 100% yes. But I've not tried. Well, I've tried it at home and forget it. It takes like 2 days to give it a full charge.
Okay, so that's on the 120 circuit, right?
10 basically, yeah.
Yeah, 110 circuit, yeah, okay. Just
So
curious.
they do have a converter. I mean, it's so dead. I mean, it's not like, oh, let's stop in 2 hours and we'll be fine. You can do it half the night if you get it, because it's not the same charge as a regular one.
So you
Yeah.
really need the 240 or 220, whatever it is, to.
Whatever you want to call it.
Do we have any solar powered cars yet?
I don't know.
Experimental
I don't think
engineering
so.
colleges race solar powered cars every year, but it's just a
Too heavy?
research or, well, they make them very light so that, and have huge solar panels on top. I mean,
Right.
and this is something engineering students do for a contest every year at all the big universities.
Can't do it in the rain or the clouds.
Not really.
Or the snow?
Yeah.
Solar powered
What
car
what
in
word?
Colombia would actually make sense, especially in Cartagena and Barranquilla. It's all the sun is basically always shining.
I'll say one other thing. If you drive, and I'm old, so I'm making a joke. If you drive like an old person, that's fine. But if you go kind of fast or traffic driving, the electricity is just sucking right out of it.
Oh, so start and stop driving is pretty bad for them?
Very. Accelerating is horrible. And the other thing, which you can, on the Teslas, you can change the volume, change the noise it makes. Because I guess there's a mandate by the government to have to make some kind of noise so you know it's running.
Not that you couldn't smell it?
How would you smell it?
No. I believe most things that burn, do you not smell things that burn?
No, to say that it's running on an electric car.
Oh.
There's nothing burning.
Long story short is there's a reason why why they put up all these gas stations. There's a reason why we have a whole bunch of gas stations in this country and not a whole bunch of electric charging stations. That's because
Yeah, you also have no-
gas makes more sense, at least in the America, in the U.S.
Well, Jeff, the one thing about this, sorry, Alex, I interrupt. The one thing about them is at least we don't have to burn coal anymore. Go on, Jeff, Alex.
Well,
Well.
yeah, coal is on its way out on its own without government intervention. I have a classmate from high school whose son worked in the coal industry, and she's upset and blames it all on the government. But it's just, the coal industry's dying on its own.
Yeah. So you guys want to see what I look like bald?
What's that?
You want to see what I look like bald?
Well, I thought we already did. All right.
Yes, now you look bold.
Now I'll get the big bushy beard. Yep, now I look bald. Oh, cool. So now we're a cosmetology, whatever that is, station. No, we will not be bald. Not going to happen. So you guys talked about gas mileage and Gary's comment about driving like an old person. Years ago, my sister's husband was telling us about his parents. They had a hybrid vehicle, And I guess she called him one day and said, "Oh, I'm getting 70 miles to the gallon." He goes, "That's because you drive 30 miles per hour."
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'll tell you a true story. I had the first new car I ever owned was a 1979 Datsun 210 hatchback. Had a 5-speed manual transmission. The fifth gear was actually an overdrive.
right.
And on the interstate, I got an honest to God 43 miles to the gallon.
That
It
was
was a
back
little
in.
1.4 liter 4-cylinder engine. And if you turned on the air conditioning, the engine overheated.
You know,
I mean,
so-
it just didn't have enough oomph to run the car and the air conditioner at the same time. Unfortunately, that didn't matter a whole lot, but I got 160,000 miles out of that car. I paid $6,000 cash for it to begin with. And in honest to God repairs, not brake pads and tires and oil and all that, I spent $1,000 on it in 20 years.
Wow.
So, I mean, I got my money's worth out of that one.
That's dang.
That's oh my God.
I know what our next car is going to be. I decided this the other day. I'm going up to the Amish country over here, getting me a horse, and I'm getting me a buggy.
Yeah, good. Good, I like that.
Yep.
Well,
When we go to Indiana, we got to leave on Thursday to get there on Monday.
yeah, that reminds me of the old joke they used to tell in Oak Ridge, Tennessee, where I live. It was part of the Manhattan Project, you know, to make the atomic bomb during the Second World War.
Right.
And when somebody would ever ask them what they were working on there, the standard answer was the front ends of horses for assembly in Washington.
Alex, I told you don't show my Corvette to everybody.
That's actually my mom's car. That's
Oh,
not
is it
her.
really?
That's not her car. That's an image I found off of Google, but that's the same car that she's got.
Nice.
Okay, the car I want, 1964 Pontiac GTO.
That'd be nice.
That's a big one. I like that one.
The reason I say that, when I was a senior in high school in the year of 64, 65, the local newspaper that year, I hired a young fellow fresh out of college to be the sports writer. And he was feeling flush with money from the first job, went out and bought one of those. And all of us boys in the senior class that year, we were just drooling over that car. And so I've wanted one ever since. If I could find one that was in halfway decent shape, I'd go to Count's Customs here in Las Vegas and have it restored.
If I could get a hold of a 67 Camaro, that would be my dream car.
Well, that's a nice one too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Novas.
Yeah, they were nice.
The other one I would have restored, my uncle had a 1956 Cadillac, fire engine red.
That thing was probably about as big as a battleship, wasn't it?
Yeah, my cousin still has it. It's been rusting away under a tarp in Santa Paula, California for 20 years.
Wow.
So I assume it's probably not repairable at this point. But when they would drive back from California to Kansas, where I grew up, they would cruise at 80 miles an hour on the highway with that thing way back in the day. That was a nice, smooth riding car.
Yeah.
I'd love to have that one fixed up. But
What was the one Buick came out with that had Royale in the name back in the 70s?
Regal,
No, Regal was another one.
the Sabre,
No, something Royale.
225, deuce and a quarter.
I'll be back in a minute, guys. I gotta go take care of Olivia.
We'll be here.
I think the Royale was the name of a song. I like the Riviera. I like the Riviera.
What was the first one you named, Greg? Regal?
Sabre,
No, the Regal.
the Regal,
Yeah,
yeah.
those, my mom had one of those. Those were nice. That was a really, really nice car.
You were talking about horses. A horse can only travel 32 miles a day.
Yeah, but that looked
And there's got to be a reason for this.
Because of the energy.
Really?
That's what I've read and heard.
I believe you.
Ken,
Yes.
you might want to use a summer and a winter sledge and a few huskies, yes, because they can travel further.
I would like to research the 32 miles in a day, because that really makes travel way back when really a long time. So Indianapolis is 122 miles, 32 would be 1 day, 32, that's 64 would be 2 days, 30, 90, 63 days. It's going to take me 3.5 days to get to Indianapolis? No, that's not happening.
Yeah, with the huskies you might be faster, yes.
Remember, the horses and cows pollute.
Yeah, I'm gonna win the lottery, and I'm gonna get a chauffeur, and it's not gonna make me any difference how long it takes, because I'm gonna be in the back sleeping. I'm just gonna say, here, go over here. I think one day I'm gonna go, Greg, is you home?
I was wrong, but it says a horse can travel up to 100 miles in a single day.
Oh, well, then in that case,
If they have high endurance and stamina. For the average trail horse, it can travel up to 50 miles a day at the pace of a brisk walk, along with water and a few breaks.
I mean, kill the poor horse, but
yeah, really.
But that's what Google says.
Can you imagine pulling into a rest area and you see 4 or 5 horses strapped down to a tree or something?
I have a cousin who died recently. It's in his 70s. Anyway, he was into horses, and he used to go and do chuck wagons with this group. Anyway, he'd go meet about like we are, have morning breakfast in middle of Kentucky, and he had a horse he'd ride with a buggy. Not an Amish buggy, like a buckboard. And the other 3 would ride horses too. So yeah,
I don't think I'll be going a horse and buggy route. I just don't think that's going to happen. Probably ain't going to win the lottery either, because I don't play it. So
Maybe with the buggy you do not have to pay much taxes.
Yeah, but it pollutes all that methane. No. That's why we're getting rid of the cows. Nothing.
speaking of that, did you see where the poster child for the Green Peace people, Greta Thunberg, said that Joe Biden is not, what was the word she used? Basically, she said he's a fraud on the environment. I thought that was pretty good coming from a 14-year-old.
She's 19.
How much?
19. 19.
Oh. Man, I am behind.
I mean, the Greta girl that's on Bicycle Garage?
No, this is the girl from Sweden, I think she was originally.
German.
German. They're all over there in that neck of the woods.
Ex-Nazi.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Well, she was 14 when she started out, right?
That's when she dropped out of high school, yeah.
Okay.
That's why she knows so much about this stuff.
Well, yeah, I remember learning so much about that when I was in high school. Let me tell you how my high school days went. This is my high school days. English class. Wait a minute. Math class. Had to use the left arm because the right arm got tired in English class.
About home economics.
I didn't take home economics. I did take typing. That was fun.
I like actually going to school. I never had any issues there.
Home economics was just real, you learned how to cook, and I already knew how to cook, so I didn't really need to take that.